really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time.
Ryan Garcia says he's disciplined, rebuilt, and fully locked in. But is this transformation real or just talk before the biggest test of his career? Mario Barrios bringing structure, toughness, and a calculated game plan. This fight feels deeper than just speed and power. Controlled and focused Ryan finally prove he's championship ready? Or does Barrios have the perfect strategy to break the comeback story? We dive in. Tell me, which city are you watching from right now? Like, subscribe, and share our channel to stay updated with the latest and up-to-date boxing news.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, gotta...
Ryan Garcia is a superstar, a once-in-a-generation talent who has grown into a major name with 9 million Instagram followers, major sponsorship deals, and huge upside. Yet even at a young age, he understands the pressure that comes with being a fighter. A career may be shaped by years of battles, inside and outside the ring, but in the end, everything can come down to one night. Knowing that reality, Garcia refuses to leave anything up to luck.
We got a long way to go. This is just the beginning. Everything gotta be tough. Bring it on. Let's go, baby. He's never seen determination like this in his life. He can't fathom how to get like this. He don't have this mentality like me. It's all laughter at the press conference, but when it comes to hard work, that's why I'm here.
I gotta outwork this, man. I gotta be ready. You trust in the truth. That's why I learned to run this whole journey. It's like, trust the truth, trust your work, and trust in yourself, and you'll be okay.
With 1 week to go, the vibe around Ryan Garcia isn't loud or flashy anymore. It feels controlled and focused, and that's exactly what should make people uneasy.
We're just a young link, but you know how we go. How we still win no matter what.
Even during moments meant for rest, the team never drifts far from a competitive mindset in any way.
So boxing and smash throws, how do the two skills...
They correlate probably the exact same. Reaction, timing, speed, predicting the guy's moves,
momentum,
the different moves you have to do. It's a lot of different.
You play smash more in camp?
100%.
Besides boxing,
Yeah.
what else do you do with your time besides smash?
Basketball.
But it's mostly smash.
How about nothing?
Alright, Lupe. That's 3.
Get it?
I got that.
Record. Shut up. There you go.
Woo!
Don't play with the boys!
In boxing, more than in most sports, emotions are often mistaken for weakness. Garcia understands that better than most because he knows real strength can come from confronting and making peace with the opponent no one sees. It's not about flashy pad sessions, not about highlight speed drills, not about social media clips. It's in the eyes. Calm eyes, locked in eyes, like every shot thrown in camp carries intention instead of putting on a show.
Today's our cardio day, baby. So stuff that we're doing today is not traditional, right? We're gonna be moving, we're gonna be moving fast. We got 10 rounds, we got 30 seconds, simulating a 3-minute round with a minute break in between. Y'all better stop playing and get ready. All right, so here we go. Our first workout on this 10 rounds. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get down low, we're gonna explode, right? Which is gonna work that serratus muscle. So when Ryan takes his shot, everything is coming through here. And it's also the big boxer muscle. There it is. That's what we do. Damn, only halfway. You already did 100 of them. There you go. Come on.
This isn't the restless Ryan jumping from emotion to emotion or chasing headlines. This looks like a boxer who has narrowed his focus to one rival and one moment. And that adjustment by itself raises the level of danger. When a naturally explosive athlete becomes steady instead of scattered, that's not a step backward. That's discipline.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling focused. I'm feeling electric. I'm feeling that this is my moment in life. This is the time to give everything I got. As the fight gets closer, I get more confident. Because the illusion starts disappearing and I can see what I have to do. And I just gain more and more confidence and more drive every day. I get more hungry every day. And my focus builds up every day. So the closer the fight, you're going to see even more ferociousness. He hasn't had a reach this deep. He's not ready for me at all.
Oh, baby, drive, get, baby, good work. Woo. I'm 215 pounds, you pulling me like, once he gets in that mode, it's over. Look good. I got numerous NFL guys, MLB guys, and he has the mindset far and beyond all of them kids, which is crazy. Go. He's gonna be as fast as he can be, as strong as he can be. We're gonna get the knockout. Go.
10 more. 10 more.
10 more.
Ready, go. There you go.
You're going on tired. 10 more. 10 more. Until I've done a million. Mess with the wrong Instagram fighter. And after I beat him, 10 more. That's my mentality right now.
And steady speed is always more dangerous than reckless speed. You can notice it in how he punches now. No unnecessary motion, no wasted effort, just clean, intentional shots like he's practicing outcomes, not chasing viral moments. There's something intense about how serious he appears. It's like the showman stepped aside and the competitor grabbed full control. Version steps into fight night calm, focused, and completely present, then this shifts from hype to pure execution. A disciplined, emotionally balanced Ryan is a far different challenge than the one many believe they already understand. But built on unique identities, Mario Barrios stands out in his own way, bringing a style that doesn't fit neatly into one label. Distinct in approach, independent in mindset, and always true to it. That's where the narrative subtly shifts. While attention stays fixed on a more composed Ryan, Mario Barrios is refining something much less obvious, yet possibly more threatening: structure. With 1 week remaining and Joe Goosen in his corner, this no longer feels like a champion simply getting ready to defend his title. It feels like a precise game plan being crafted for one particular opponent.
I got real deeply in touch with my native roots a couple years ago. I just wanted something, that at the end of the day represented me, represented everything, that I stood for.
Goosen isn't stepping into this without knowledge. He has been around the Ryan Garcia system before, observed the timing, the patterns, the emotional surges, and the points where quickness can turn into overreaching. That level of familiarity doesn't promise a win, but it definitely refines the strategy. Barrios on his own is rugged, resilient, consistent, the type of fighter built to weather heavy pressure. Camp, the focus has been tighter than ever. Virgil Hunter keeps reinforcing structure and control to balance out his fighter's natural fire and intensity.
All of my tattoos, most of them are Aztec-based. First one I got was Ocelo, and Heka, Malanali, Quetzalcoatl, deck butt. Got this right here on my forearm. Miklantikuli, my neck with short sleeve. The elastic symbol for the flower. You know, this is stuff that we didn't get to learn, you know, in the history books in school. But you know, it's at the end of the day, it's our history.
It's a balance the Hall of Fame coach knows deeply. Shaped in part by his years working in the probation department in Alameda County, Barrios now has a trainer who understands how the storm moves. That changes the picture. Now you're looking at something directed with purpose, not just a fighter applying pressure. Some people label him ordinary, but ordinary fighters don't share the ring with top-level opponents and keep pushing forward like time is against them. And if Goosen is refining that aggression while aiming at Ryan's past weak spots, then this shifts away from flash and toward disruption. Upsets aren't always born from greater talent. Sometimes they come from better preparation, catching the precise weakness at exactly the wrong time.
For 30 years in the probation department, I've worked with the roughest, toughest gang members and criminals that you can imagine. We'll get the follow through that right hand. Transferring that over to boxing, I think it gave me a lot of advantages. I understand pretty much everything about a young man. You have to go with what you hear and what you see. So that's pretty simple.
That discussion about structure and upset potential carries more weight when Antonio Tarver steps in, because he's not talking as a supporter. He's talking like someone evaluating how high a career can really go. Tarver says this is the ideal fight for Ryan. There's meaning behind it. He's not saying it's simple, and he's not promising victory. He's calling it the right opportunity. That's a major difference. What he's really saying is the title is available, the opponent fits, the stage is set. Now the performance has to match the moment.
If there is some stuff, you know, that I'm being stubborn about when I'm in the ring, he knows exactly how to get through to me. And that's when I work my best.
One mistake. And then we on the short end of this. You gotta narrow mistake margins in. Don't let him get it. You don't create the opportunity for him. Force him to create it for himself if he don't get it. So you gotta watch him every night and you see what he does, and that stays in your mind. I can tell you watching it. Go ahead, son.
Then he follows it up with a blunt warning, saying that if Ryan can't get past Barrios, it's tough to picture him overcoming any of the other title holders. That's not criticism, it's a measuring stick, a strict but fair one. I also noticed how Tarver describes Barrios as dependable, but not overwhelming, skilled, but not extraordinary. And that framing is risky because it quietly loads the expectation onto Ryan. It's almost like he's saying, you have the quickness, the strength, the youth, so what's stopping you? That's mental pressure wrapped in analysis.
Hey, you know what? I think it's a perfect fight for Ryan. I think when you look at the guys that hold the championships, you can look, I believe he has a chance to win this, bro, and become a world champion for the first time in his career. I think it's the perfect opponent when you look at all the other champions. If he can't win this fight, I think it'd be hard pressed for him to win a title.
But he doesn't overlook Barrios either. He keeps highlighting the grit, the durability, the unwillingness to fold, and that carries more weight than many realize. When Tarver shifts to talking about true focus, real gym commitment, maturity, and talent finally aligning with discipline, it connects directly to Ryan's whole journey. He suggests that success may have arrived too quickly for Ryan, and now growth itself is the real challenge, not just Barrios. When he brings up lessons, honest self-reflection, and habits built through hard work in the gym, that's more than simple analysis. It's a caution. Tarver isn't doubting Ryan's ability. He's questioning whether the focused, disciplined version appears when the stakes are highest. If it does, the road ahead expands. If it doesn't, the story changes immediately.
Because I just believe when you look at the power of Barrios, it's not really devastating. You know, when you look at his boxing ability, he's a good fighter, but nothing really sticks out as great. You know, I just think he's a solid fighter, but I just don't think he's the best champion.
The warning about discipline shaping the future that Tarver hinted at stops sounding abstract and starts feeling real when Ryan calmly admits, "Yeah, I was drinking, partying, loaded with toxins." That's not typical fighter talk. That's an honest self-check in front of the camera. I'm hearing that and thinking, this is the same guy critics labeled distracted. And now he's openly admitting he knew the Rolando Romero fight was a bad call. He says that throughout camp he felt wrong, his body slowing down, his instincts telling him something wasn't right. That kind of awareness wasn't something we saw from the earlier, unpredictable version of Ryan. As he felt like a retired fighter inside the ring, that hits deeper than any bold statement because it's an athlete describing a disconnect from his own abilities. Then he shifts the tone, calling the defeat a lesson in humility, and suddenly Tarver's point about growth and maturity feels almost prophetic. What stands out most is when Ryan describes this camp as a complete reset. No drinking, no inflammation, fully committed to living like a true professional athlete.
If he can pull this off, I think that rights a lot of wrong in Ryan Garcia's career, man. He holds a belt, an established belt, and he can, the sky's the limit with a Ryan Garcia holding a belt in boxing, a real legitimate, recognizable belt. It just puts him up there with the stars, bro. For real, for real.
And you can clearly see the mental change lining up with the physical rebuild we've been discussing. He's not even emotionally fixated on Barrios. He says he simply sees a job to handle, which carries a different kind of edge. No theatrics, just execution. Then the confidence rises again with that prediction of a stoppage in round 8. I won't deny it, that's the familiar Ryan swagger showing up again, but this time it feels paired with responsibility instead of recklessness. As people are overlooking him and that he actually likes being doubted, it fits the pattern of his career. When expectations fade, his performances often improve. Still, the most telling part isn't mentioning Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. It's the timeline he lays out about rebuilding himself since July, reconnecting with the gym environment, becoming sharper, stronger, and mentally clearer. That's not promotional talk, that's about the process. Now the stakes feel sharper. Tarver raised questions about discipline. Ryan is saying that discipline has returned and fight night will reveal the truth.
The circumstances are much different, you know, after that year of suspension, it was much different circumstances. You know, I was coming off of suspension, and during that suspension, I was drinking and partying and doing whatever I want for all the way through until they told me that I had to fight. My instincts told me not to. My body wasn't well, you know, it had a lot of toxins in it, as you could imagine. A lot of stuff that I did.
When you step back and look at everything, the steady eyes, the rebuilt conditioning, Tarver's warning about discipline, the Joe Goosen strategy unfolding in Barrios' camp, and Ryan openly admitting he had to humble himself after reckless habits left him feeling disconnected in the ring. This doesn't feel like an ordinary title bout anymore. It feels like a defining checkpoint under intense lights. With 1 week to go, the storyline isn't chaos, it's alignment against resistance. Ryan is presenting change, calmer presence, better habits, sharper focus, total tunnel vision. Barrios represents structure, composed champion mentality, measured pressure, and a trainer who understands the blueprint of the man across from him. The battle feels mental before it ever turns physical. Tarver framed it as a true test, and in a blunt way, he's right. If the disciplined Ryan he's describing is genuine and not just talk, then his speed, youth, and explosiveness become controlled weapons instead of scattered bursts. But if even a trace of old inconsistency shows up under pressure, Barrios' toughness, patience, and carefully built game plan could quickly steer this fight into risky territory.
What are you visualizing with Barrios?
Oh, that's gonna be a great fight.
But you don't have any bad blood with Barrios. He's like a nice guy.
No, I mean, I don't even really, I don't see Barrios. I just see an opponent that I need to beat. So it's not really about Barrios. Barrios, great, probably great human, great person, but I don't see him as like
right there as him. I just see an opponent, and that's
When you step back and look at everything, the steady eyes, the rebuilt conditioning, Tarver's warning about discipline, the Joe Goosen strategy unfolding in Barrios' camp, and Ryan openly admitting he had to humble himself after reckless habits left him feeling disconnected in the ring. This doesn't feel like an ordinary title bout anymore. It feels like a defining checkpoint under intense lights. With 1 week to go, the storyline isn't chaos, it's alignment against resistance. Ryan is presenting change, calmer presence, better habits, sharper focus, total tunnel vision. Barrios represents structure, composed champion mentality, measured pressure, and a trainer who understands the blueprint of the man across from him. The battle feels mental before it ever turns physical. Tarver framed it as a true test, and in a blunt way, he's right. If the disciplined Ryan he's describing is genuine and not just talk, then his speed, youth, and explosiveness become controlled weapons instead of scattered bursts. But if even a trace of old inconsistency shows up under pressure, Barrios' toughness, patience, and carefully built game plan could quickly steer this fight into risky territory. Redemption-driven focus against champion-level composure. Growth versus structure, talent under control against resilience under fire. That's why the unpredictability feels so high heading into fight night. Now I want to hear from you. Is this the fully committed, disciplined Ryan who finally claims a world title? Or is Barrios and the Goosen strategy exactly the kind of structure that can interrupt the comeback story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Ring. Catch you in the next. This video on Boxing Ring is created for educational, informational, and commentary purposes only. All boxing highlights, analysis, and discussions are shared for sports awareness, news, and review. We do not promote violence, harmful behavior, or unsafe imitation. All content is used in accordance with YouTube's fair use and community guidelines and fully researched based from updated resources. Viewer discretion is advised.